Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Can you imagine waiting 10 years to get screened for cancer? On average, people with mental health issues experience a 10-year delay between symptoms and seeking help, and close to 2/3 of mental illnesses go untreated. Hearts for Minds promotes healthy lives by promoting mental health education, facilitating early identification, and connecting people to treatment. Are you ready to learn more? Go to heartsforminds.org. That's hearts, the number 4, minds.org for more information and to learn how you can help. Hi, it's Eden. Christine and I have had more conversations than we can count about how some days just feel harder than others. You know, those days when you're doing everything right, you're eating healthy, you're working out, but your energy just still crashes or your mood takes a dive out of nowhere. Nobody is safe when that happens. We've come to realize that it could be hormones. And so if you have felt that way, Happy Mammoth has something that can help. The makers of Hormone Harmony offer a quick 2-minute quiz designed to uncover the root cause of these stubborn hormonal symptoms. It's easy. You just answer a couple of questions about what you're experiencing and where you're at in your life. People who take the quiz really do find personalized insights into their hormone levels, and they give recommendations like Hormone Harmony. It's an herbal formula crafted to support hormones in a normal range, helping with occasional bloating, chronic fatigue, weight gain, the mild mood swings. With over 40,000 5-star reviews and a bottle selling every 24 seconds, those results speak for themselves. So if you're ready to start feeling like yourself again, and that to us is what it's all about, head over to happymammoth.com and take that free 2-minute hormone quiz. For a limited time, get 15% off your entire first order with the code UUPodcast at checkout. That's happymammoth.com, UUPodcast for 15% off today.
At Ritual, we're celebrating all moms this Mother's Day, current and aspiring. So whether you're looking for fertility support, natal choline, or our best-selling clinically backed prenatal, we've got you covered. Find your Ritual. Go to ritual.com/podcast and for a limited time, get 40% off your first month. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Based on net sales from industry data, including Nielsen IQ, Stackline, and Numerator as of Q4 2024 and top 5 products.
Welcome to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast urging you to let it go and don't look back. With nationally acclaimed professional organizer Christine Stone and self-proclaimed hot damn mess radio and TV personality Eden Kendall.
Welcome, everyone, to Uncluttered and Unfiltered, the podcast for women over 50. My name is Eden. Christine Stone is here, too, of course. And this is going to be a episode about something that one of us does a lot more than the other.
Although when I started researching this, I think this speaks to me a little
bit. It does.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about being in a rush, always being in a hurry.
Yep.
And something that I researched and found out is related to that, and it's called hurry sickness.
Yes.
Which I had never heard of. So hurry sickness, being in a rush, the cons of it, I wouldn't say the pros and cons, because I think everything I've read points in the direction of this is not a good way to live your life.
No, it's not.
But I would have thought, just simply because you are someone who always gives things time to breathe, you do not overschedule the way I overschedule. So I would not have thought of you as being somebody who feels that you rush around a lot.
Well, I do rush around a lot, but I didn't realize it till I read all these examples.
Okay.
So I found this very interesting because a lot of times, so for me, I don't like to rush. So if I am rushing, that's why these spoke to me, because that's exactly what's going on when I'm rushing around.
And by these, you mean the list that you found?
Yeah, the traits and characteristics
of somebody who
who's rushing around all the time.
Okay.
And so, I mean, even the first one, constant rushing, the need to do everything quickly and efficiently, even when it's not necessary. That would speak to me for sure.
Okay.
So I'm always, especially if something's coming up, like I'm going on a vacation, I'm having company at my house. It's the constant rushing to that event, to what's going to happen. And then in here, what I liked, you're missing life's small moments when you do that. And I do feel that way sometimes. Like I'm not stopping to enjoy what's going on because I'm too busy and too rushed and too hurried. How about you?
Well, that is for sure the story of my life. And sometimes like you said, there's no reason to be in a hurry. Sometimes there is a reason to be in a hurry, but the reason is all my own doing.
Right.
I overschedule.
Right.
And many times, and we're in a 3-year partnership now with this podcast almost. And one of the things I always say, I'm getting the most out of it. I'm totally the winner in this situation because I'm learning behaviors that I've not experienced before, which is literally saying no to something just because it will make for too crunchy of a day. And that's the way my husband and I referred to days where you just have one thing after another. And we always say, oh, it's going to be a crunchy day. And you have always been pretty adamant that, why don't we not do it on this day because I'll have to rush off to this appointment if we do it that day.
Right.
And my mindset has always been, so rush off to the appointment,
Right.
So
Right.
I'm learning to slow
Right.
down. But yes, so the answer is yes, I do that. I tend
because-
to make myself rush through things that don't require rushing.
And what I learned from this is the anxiety that comes from it.
Yes.
And I do suffer from that. Like, I think when I'm constantly rushing, I think the anxiety is you're going to disappoint someone. You're either going to be late. For me, that's crucial because I cannot stand when people are late. Now, there's exceptions to every rule.
Always.
But I'm saying someone who's generally constantly late.
Mm-hmm.
So I am never late. And if I am late, I'm dead in a ditch somewhere. So you better call somebody.
Okay, that's true. I've never once gotten to our meeting and you're not already sitting there.
Yes, I'm early, or I'm literally. I'm usually very early, which is probably annoying to some people too. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that people's time is very valuable, and to not respect that. Sometimes at least that's what I have in my head. So I appreciate when someone's on time, and I'm a businesswoman, and I don't think people would like it if I was late to their houses to organize them. So anyway, so a lot of this felt very, very real, especially when they talk about irritability. I feel like when I'm rushing, I'm annoyed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like even in your car.
Because somebody who is just living their life and doing their own thing and has no interest in what you're doing is slowing you down.
Right.
So you're annoyed by them. And yes, especially in your car.
Oh, especially.
I'm annoyed at a light, a traffic light. You're in my, and if I had left my house 15 minutes prior, or even if I still have plenty of time to get somewhere, I'm annoyed at anything that's going to slow my roll.
Right. That's why I was saying I didn't realize till I started researching this that I'm almost textbook when I'm overwhelmed and trying to fit everything in and I'm rushed. That these are classic symptoms that I never even thought of. I really didn't even think of this.
The irritability is
everything. Multitasking. I am the queen multitasker. I can multitask, I would say 10 things at one time if I had to. But is it worth it?
And why do you need to?
And why do you need to?
Why can't you just watch a show? Why do you have to also be doing cleaning the kitchen and doing dishes and doing a million things? Why?
Doing a load of laundry while you're emptying the dishwasher, then you're on. Then, and I noticed this morning, part of this problem is because you're so accessible now to people because of text messaging. And I think that's part of the problem, because sometimes when you hear that ding, like you're like, God, what do they want now? Or who's dinging me now? You know what I mean? Because it's all day and into the night. And I know you silence your phone a lot, and so does my daughter. But I never, first of all, I can't figure out how to do that do not disturb thing. Don't laugh at me. But I put it on vibrate when I go to bed at night, because that would drive me crazy, because I go to bed so early. But that's one thing I think that goes in with this, that ever since technology, people can get in touch with you day or night. You don't get any reprieve at all.
That's right.
Don't
That's
you
right.
think?
Oh, it's 100% right. And that I now have a thing where I don't bring my phone upstairs. I will not allow myself to bring my phone upstairs because that's where I'll watch shows or because otherwise I will scroll or answer texts or answer calls. I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting watching a TV show with my husband and his phone will ring. Is mom home? I've been texting her. Well, yeah, she's sitting here next to me. And that's by design that,
See,
I'm
you're
reachable.
my husband because I always have my phone on my nightstand because nobody can ever get in touch with him. So they know that I'm that person. If anyone needs anything, don't call him because he definitely is like you. I think he turns his phone off.
Well, if I thought I couldn't be reached, then I would have it.
Right.
But since I know that there is a way for me to be reached.
Exactly. He probably
by the people who can reach me through him.
I think he feels the same way. Like, call her.
Yeah. Anyone else, if you're not somebody who has his number, I probably don't need to be reached.
Right.
There's clearly no emergency.
Right.
Not a surgeon.
Right.
So,
well, the other thing is feeling behind schedule. Like you're always behind schedule. It's like you can never catch a breath.
Right.
Like you always feel like you're behind. I didn't realize any of this until I started reading these things because sometimes I'll do speaking engagements, then I have clients, then I have social media, and you feel like you could just never catch up. You're constantly have something to do. And you know me, I like to do nothing sometimes. I'm a nothing person.
Mm-hmm. You're all or nothing.
I'm all or nothing. I'm like, so I found that very interesting. And then this made me think of you, neglecting self-care.
Yes. Not self-hygiene.
Don't
make a mistake.
I mean like
but
massages
yes.
or facials or getting your hair done, whatever it is. When you get really busy, you neglect yourself. See, that I don't compromise on that just because I see the benefits of, really taking care of yourself.
Yes.
It gives you good mental health.
Putting yourself last on the list is not in our best interest, especially as we age.
Exactly. So, especially as we age. I think, once you start that, I don't know. You get in a little bit of a habit.
We really should be at a point in our lives now where we are at the top of our own list.
Right. That's what
I think. And yet, here we are still.
I know. Here we are still working a lot, still doing a lot. Relationship issues.
Yeah. Struggling
to connect with loved ones due to a constant focus on work and deadlines.
Being in a hurry.
Yeah. Like someone will be talking to you, be like, wait a minute. I'm working on something. I'm doing, it's constantly a minute.
Can you stop and take a break? No. And you're already working past work hours. So it's not going to matter if you stop for 5 minutes and have a conversation with me.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
Well, you would be surprised to know that if you Google hurry sickness, you will find that there has been a lot of research into this very topic.
I believe it. After reading these things, I believe it because I think during COVID and everyone was home, they were able to relax. But now that everyone's back to normal, it seems like this problem has really come back again a lot.
So let me tell you about some of the physical ailments. We can return to your list, but there are some physical ailments too that are caused by hurry sickness. It's always being in a rush. Chronic stress can manifest as headaches, stomach issues, difficulty sleeping, and weakened immune system. Focusing on speed can make it difficult to be present. You did mention that too. Irritability, you mentioned. Relationship strain, you just mentioned. The difficult collaborating. People have a hard time collaborating with other people because they feel like they can just hurry up and do it faster.
Right.
And
that's me.
That is something that goes back a long way for me, even with like school group projects. You feel like, listen, I could just knock this out.
Me too.
Let me just knock this out. Please, let me just do it.
Well, I've always have been that person. Like, if you want something done, just do it yourself because it'll get done. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I agree with you. I don't think that's a way to.
Let me guess. You're probably multitasking while listening to this podcast, aren't you? Of course you are. We're all so busy and we work really hard for what we have. So wouldn't it be great to eliminate stressing about fashion? To regain those hours staring at a closet full of nothing to wear? Oh, have we got a great solution for you. Listen, I know I am one to stress about keeping a fresh, high-quality wardrobe, and I'm the queen of buyer's remorse when I do treat myself. That is where Armoire comes in. Check it out for yourself. Go to armoire.style/UU podcast, take a style quiz, and then you get to make choices. You rent the clothes, you wear them, and return them. And before you're even sending them back, you're replacing them with a new selection. It's like having a best friend with an endless closet. Right now, all of our listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 50% off your first month. That's up to $125 off. Just visit armoire.style/UU podcast. That's ARMOIRE.style/UU podcast and get up to 50% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today. Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Can you imagine waiting 10 years to get screened for cancer? On average, people with mental health issues experience a 10-year delay between symptoms and seeking help, and close to 2/3 of mental illnesses go untreated. Hearts for Minds promotes healthy lives by promoting mental health education, facilitating early identification, and connecting people to treatment. Are you ready to learn more? Go to heartsforminds.org. That's hearts, the number 4, minds.org for more information and to learn how you can help. It can cause suboptimal decision making. Of course it can. If you're in a hurry, if you're making decisions in a rush, then you're obviously not putting in the time to reflect and really decide what needs to happen. It can reduce your creativity. If you're just trying to knock it out, are you going to be able to really put the spin on it that it might require? Decreasing your ability to learn. If you're rushing through something,
I totally agree with that.
You aren't learning.
Right.
So, and I can give you an example, and I'm making this up as I go along, but an example could be, let's say you have Christine over to organize your closet with you. It would be, she might feel like, okay, step out and let me just do this.
Right.
And I might be like, let me step out and let you just do this.
Right.
But the fact is, I won't learn and maintain if I don't let us slow down and watch carefully and participate and be a part of it. I could go for the quick way, or I could go for the way in which I can actually open up my brain and let in some learning.
Right.
Mistakes and errors, obviously, when you're in a hurry. And so I think that you and I probably did a lot of the same Googling, because I have a lot of the same things on my list. But that's really it. It's about, so what can we do about it? What can we, if we're conscious of it now and we're thinking, I was trying to think, what can we do about it? And so I think going through your day, like for me, I have a list, and I know you make lists, but I have a daily list.
Yeah.
What things can I move off that list? Even if I have to put them 3 weeks out, do I need to do all of this today? Does it have to happen today? Do I have to make a doctor's appointment to slide right in between 2 other meetings I have? Or can I just move it out?
Well, it all depends which doctor appointment it is.
Yeah, sometimes you got to grab it because you won't be able to.
Right, I was going to say. I think also just, we've talked about this before, though, is learning to say no and overscheduling yourself. Because, you know, like you texted me the other night about something, and I said, I can't do it tonight, even though I probably could have.
Sure.
But I wouldn't have felt that I could give you my all. And because I'm that type of person, I was like, I'll just be giving her half of me, not the whole of me. And I want
But you wouldn't just be doing it to me. You'd be doing it to the other people you were doing a project for.
Right.
I asked if you would be free to record an episode.
Right.
We're going to try to do some Zoom stuff.
Right.
And you at first thought, you said, I'm giving a PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
And if I have the extra time, that's where I want to put my focus. So you, in fact, would be not just cheating me, but you'd be cheating the people who you're about to present to.
Right. And also, I don't know about you with age, but for me, as I've aged, and I'm, like I said, I'm a few years older than you, I think putting too much on the plate, you will get some of these illnesses because you get tired. You don't rejuvenate. You don't have the energy you used to have. So then that kind of depresses you, where you're like, I used to be able to do all this. I used to be able to fit 10 things in a day. So I think just really learning the art of, I can give you my best if we do it on this day. You know what I mean? And then you're not feeling bad about yourself either.
Part of it is taking into account what your emotions are going to be in that time block.
Yep.
So, and I know it's really hard to do, and you have to be really in tune with yourself to do this. I'm not proclaiming that I am there yet, but if you were to say, let's just say you get scanxiety. We've talked about this. If you're having a test, any kind of like a mammogram or anything like that, you get a lot of anxiety the night before. So even just accounting for that, let's say I said, hey, do you want to get together to have a meeting from 7 to 9 tomorrow night to do a recording session? If you know that you have a test the first thing in the morning, it's not like there's something you have to specifically do for that test, but you are saying, listen, I know where my mental state will be that night, so I'm not going to put the time in. I'm going to just not. And there was another thing I read in my research about this topic, and that was some people, because we all look at time differently, we all experience time differently. And I'm the kind of person where I have a really hard time not feeling like my day is ruined if I have something I have to do at 4 p.m. Then the whole day's shot. Like,
I agree with you.
So, like, let's say someone says, "Oh, you're on vacation that day, but so can you do a doctor's appointment at 3:30 p.m.?" Well, now it is no longer a day that I have free.
Right.
Even though I could probably do anything.
I agree, though, to that.
So if someone said, "Hey, do you want to go out on a boat all day?" Well, I got to get back. I got to be, and you will be, but it's the way we view time. It's the way we're not thinking of time incrementally, like as though it's just,
Well, also, when I was researching this, as you get older, you feel like you never have enough time.
Yes.
And so that you want to fit everything in because life is so fast and it goes so fast and there's not enough hours in the day. So you make excuses by saying that, like, I don't know how long I'm going to be on this earth. I better do this. I better do that. And so I never realized that either, if you want to know the truth, until I saw it in writing. Like, it's true. You think as you get older, like, I better do this because who knows how long I have left on this earth. Everything, like you said, time is different for everybody.
When we talked about doing this episode, we thought, that's such a simple thing, though, to say, what do you mean do a whole episode about being in a rush? But once we started down the path, there is a lot out there, a lot of research. So really, our ask of you would be to look at your days from an outside looking in perspective,
right?
And ask yourself, am I giving myself time to breathe, for one thing,
right?
And also, am I giving myself time to enjoy or experience emotions,
right?
Because sometimes, I don't know if you've ever had this where you have this great vacation or trip planned, but before that, you have a busy work week. Oh, I can't feel good and excited.
I'm doing that right now.
Right, I can't even feel excited right now until I knock out this task, this task, and this task. Instead of being able to relax and be excited, we are so driven by what's on the list.
Exactly. I totally agree. I'm leaving in a few weeks to go out of the country, and the amount of work and the things going on before I leave are not allowing me to get excited about our trip. And also, you know me, I pack like 3 weeks before a trip, so I'm already in packing mode. And so it's rushing around. I got to do this before I leave. I got to do that before I leave. So I found this very fascinating right now for the things that are going on in my life right now.
Have you ever had this happen? You have a list of things to do, let's say, over the course of a weekend, and then you rush and get them all done on a Saturday morning, and then you've got a whole free weekend then, and that's great. And maybe that was what you intended, but then you're bored.
I'm never
sometimes
bored.
I know you're not, but I'm sitting around. I'd rather have errands that are going to keep me. I'd rather have a long to-do list than be sitting around doing.
Yeah, that's my problem. I never ever get bored ever. I love being a homebody. I love being at home. And I think that's the thing. Mm-hmm. That's what makes us so fun together, because I love that you would even say that. I can't even imagine that. Like me saying, I'm bored. Now, my husband's like you a lot, where I'll say to him, can you sit still for 5 minutes? And he'll say, what do you mean? I'm like, you've gone for a run, you've mowed the lawn, you've jumped in the
Right.
pool. Like, it makes me dizzy.
That's what I have to do. I mean, I've talked about this before. Like, I'll get all of my little chores done, and then I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what do you want to do now? He says, watch golf.
Yeah, he's like,
what?
me. Yeah.
Watch golf?
Yep.
Watch it? Like on
Yep.
television?
Yep.
Like as an activity that you're doing?
Right.
Gosh, being in a hurry when there's no reason for
Right.
it. That's what we're
Right.
talking about. Why make yourself be in a hurry? Only to, in my case, be bored, or in your case, to reduce enjoyment
Right.
of what it
right.
is you're doing.
That's what I noticed after reading all this. And it really, honestly, like, I thought this weekend, after reading all this and doing the research on this, I'm going to just relax and do nothing, not even pack. I know that's shocking to you, but
I mean, that is shocking to me. If you're not packed now for next year's winter break, I don't even know. So I want to leave you. Did we cover everything? Because I want to leave
think
you
we
with a funny
did.
story.
I think we did.
We've got another episode we're going to be recording after this, and I don't want to throw every single fun story into that. So I thought I'd share this one with you. So I was at an event recently. I thought you'd love this. I meant to kick off the episode with this, but whatever. I'm at this event, and it was a running event, and we finished the race, and I did pretty well in it. So there's a woman who's my age or older, and there's a young girl in her 20s who's the social media director for the company that is putting on the race for the nonprofit. And she's very zippy and excited and just sweet, too sweet,
Don't
too
you
sweet.
love the 20s?
So sweet. And she says to me, without knowing my age at all, she says, great job, you won that prize, blah, 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 blah. 60 is the new 40, am I right?
Oh, my
And
God.
the other lady says, you're not 60, are you? And now I could have let this girl off the hook and said, no, but I'm close enough. I mean,
Right.
we're not talking about years away. But instead I let it linger in the air because that little girl needed to know that you can't just throw that out there like
That's
that
like
without
saying
knowing.
to someone who's pregnant, who's not pregnant,
Right.
oh, when are you due?
I mean, I'm not 60. So for her to go, 60 is the new 40, am I right? Without knowing me, I wanted her to be uncomfortable. And I know that's mean, but I mean, I could have very easily and very simply said, look, I'm not even 2 years away from that. That's fine. But I just kind of let it sit there and I went, no, I'm not.
And what was her facial expression?
Just like
Like
a
a
ghost,
sheet.
like
Yeah,
a sheet.
ghost.
She just went white as a sheet, like, oh. Anyway, it was funny. I thought it was funny.
I think that's hilarious.
And I walked away and I said to my husband, do you believe it? And of course, being a guy, he's like, well, it's not like you're so far away. And I'm like, you're not getting the point here. She doesn't know how old I am. What does she know? She doesn't
Right.
know me.
Exactly.
Don't make an assumption.
That's so funny.
Anyway, so that's just a little venting I'm doing because that's what we can do in this forum.
Exactly.
So everyone, we hope you will take it down a notch, slow it down just
Right.
a little, and remember this: getting it all done as quickly as possible, even though you have nothing left to do and you're all done with it, you can let that go.
And don't look back.
Uncluttered and Unfiltered is supported by Hearts for Minds. Can you imagine waiting 10 years to get screened for cancer? On average, people with mental health issues experience a 10-year delay between symptoms and seeking help, and close to 2/3 of mental illnesses go untreated. Hearts for Minds promotes healthy lives by promoting mental health education, facilitating early identification, and connecting people to treatment. Are you ready to learn more? Go to heartsforminds.org. That's hearts, the number 4, minds.org for more information and to learn how you can help.